What's happening, guys? UFC 307 this weekend, Salt Lake City, altitude, bit of a mix there, especially while I'm doing my breakdowns. I'm going to have to take that into consideration, and so should you. So my picks and breakdown of the whole main card we're going to do, and that's starting off with Kevin Hollan, Roman Dolidze. Pretty much give you what I think straight away, but then I'm going to break it down a little bit deeper. Roman Dolidze, I think it's going to be a decision win. I think he's going to be able to control him. We know Kevin Hollan, very dangerous. Dangerous off his back, dangerous on his feet, throws very unorthodox stuff. Could he hurt Roman Dolidze? Yeah, for sure. But Roman Dolidze is going to, want to look for that takedown. I did say that last time that he's just going to want to control on the wall, but then he wanted to stand and bang, which surprised me. I did not expect that in his last fight. He did get the win. He won how I did pick him to win by decision, but not that way. I was expecting him to just control his opponent. I think it was Anthony Smith. But yeah, quite surprising that he was just standing banging. Not a very good idea with Kevin Hollan. Kevin Hollan has a lot of tools and he's dangerous. And he's dangerous because he doesn't mind taking risks. The way he fights, he's a very, could you say, yeah, you could say confident fighter, but doesn't really care too much. And that is going to come into play. When I say care too much, I don't know if I'm saying that right. I just mean like he is happy to just throw whatever out there. There's going to be high risk thing that he's going to throw out there. If he, misses and falls down, he doesn't care. He's not worried about embarrassing himself. He just goes all out and just doesn't really care what goes on. He's just going to fight. You know what I mean? That's sort of how he is, which could be good for him at altitude. So altitude is always going to zap the life out of you. But you're going to get people that even if they're fit, if they're not used to that feeling, they might train really hard and they're usually fit. But if they're going to get this uncomfortable sort of feeling and, is it going to rattle them that they're starting to get this feeling? Is it going to, even though they're trained real hard, are they going to start shelling up a little bit, trying to, protect their energy, protect themselves from getting tired once they feel, they start getting out of breath nice and early, like, oh man, why am I feeling out of breath already? Are these going to be things that are going to play in your head as you're fighting? Roman Dolidze, I don't know. We've seen him slow down in some of his fights a little bit because he's a high pace, he's a high worker. Is that going to start to rattle him a bit? I know, even though Kevin Hollan, I guarantee you Roman Dolidze trains probably harder, but the fact that Kevin Hollan has that not care sort of attitude, and when he fights and all, doesn't put too much pressure on himself, doesn't stress at all, and he can be quite composed. As I said, it's the way he fights. He's quite composed, which will help. Even if he's tired, he won't get flustered by that. So I feel like the high altitude won't be too bad. He might slow down, but it's not going to rattle him like it maybe will with other people. Will it rattle Roman Dolidze? I'm sure they're prepared for it. I'm sure they're ready for it. So does that come into play? Does Roman Dolidze get really tired, gets exhausted, even though they're both tired? Kevin Hollan's going to be much more dangerous. What if they're both tired? Kevin Hollan's much more dangerous there. Are we going to see a late finish from Kevin Hollan? Maybe, but I'm not gonna let that take away my prediction of a Roman Dolidze decision. I think that's still my strongest take on it all. I think he's going to be able to control. I think he's going to do it. Even if he is hurt, he's going to just go grab a hold. And I think he's strong enough and good enough to control the fight like that. So I am going to go with Roman Dolidze decision win. I think it's going to be hard to finish someone like Kevin Hollan. So I will just go decision win. So we'll move on. What's the odds on that? Oh, so Roman Dolidze is an underdog here. Big underdog. Okay, well, there you go. So Roman Dolidze, big underdog here. And I like my odds with that. Again, I think it's the safest bet would be Roman Dolidze decision, even though Kevin Hollan is very dangerous. And as I just explained, them later rounds when they're both starting to get a bit of fatigue from the high altitude, I feel like he's going to be a lot more composed. Kevin Hollan will. But I'm going to stick to my guns here and go with the control from Roman Dolidze. Underdog, pretty decent underdog there as well. So there's a good pick for you that I'm pretty, I wouldn't say confident in, but I think that's definitely the safest bet you got and best value. So let's move on. Kayla Harrison and Ketlen Viera. All right, Kayla Harrison, Ketlen Viera. It's going to be hard to bet against Kayla Harrison. I think she's so strong. Yeah, I'm pretty confident. She's probably hot favorite. What is it? $1.13. Massive favorite. $6. So $1.13 for Kayla Harrison. And Ketlen is paying $6. Massive underdog, Ketlen. Can she go out there and knock her out? Yeah, if it's MMA, obviously he can. The chances are very, very slim for that, I believe. Altitude, does that come into play? I don't think so. I don't think it will. It's 3 rounds. Kayla Harrison, where's she from? Is she from that area? I don't know. I'm not sure where she's from, but has she traveled, trained high altitude? I'm not sure, but with the judo and she's been doing MMA so long, I mean, she's got to train hard to keep that weight off. She's solid, man. She's big. So I'm guessing, does that mean she tires easier? I'm gonna, she's a massive favourite for a reason. It's gonna be too hard to bet against her. Your safest bet, even though it's paying nothing, is probably not to bet at all. But on that, because it's no value at all. But for my pick, I'm gonna have to go with Kayla Harrison. Can it be a submission? Yes, I believe it can be a submission. She's just too strong. I don't care how good of a jiu-jitsu fighter Ketlen would be. Kayla Harrison can go out there and just outmuscle you and just submit you anyway. So I'm gonna go with Kayla Harrison for the win. Can definitely get the submission. Will she get the TKO? No, I don't think so. Could definitely get the submission. So up to you how you want to bet on that one. Next fight would be Aldo and Bautista. Aldo and Mario. Who's your favourite for this one? Aldo paying $2.15. So yeah, not a massive underdog, but still an underdog. And I'm going to go with, so I'm going to give you my pick straight away and then explain. I'm going to go with Aldo. We've seen that he hasn't slowed down too much. His last fight, he looked great. Am I missing something here? Like his last fight was a young, hungry guy and he was able to just outdo him. Again, Aldo, I don't care if people are saying he's getting older. For them to control him, his takedown defense is going to be too solid and then he's pretty tidy on the feet. I can't see, unless you're elite, and I'm not saying Bautista isn't, but I mean, I'm going to have to be, he's going to have to show me that, right? I guess I maybe haven't done enough study in the same sense. But I haven't seen elite fighter. I think the elite fighters are the only ones that are going to be able to take advantage of Aldo, even though he's been in the game for so long. I think you still need to be elite to capitalize on how long he's been in the game. So I'm going to go with Aldo here. So I've got another underdog here. I'm going to go decision. Obviously, we've seen Aldo finish, got great body rips. He's boxing. I felt like he did go for it a lot more in his last fight. I think he might have hurt his opponent in his last one. So he can definitely hurt this guy, but he's a pretty safe fighter. He's very defensively sound. And he just does everything right, so he doesn't really overcommit and he doesn't like to put himself out of position. So he doesn't go too crazy for the finish. Unless he's got you seriously hurt, then he can get he can pull the trigger quite heavily and then let his hands go. But before then, not so much. So he can rattle him, maybe go for it, but as soon as you get your bearings back, he's back to playing it safe, and I wouldn't say safe, but playing it strategic and not put himself out of position. So I'm going to go with Aldo here. I think that is a good underdog bet. So my second underdog pick will be Aldo by decision. I'm going to go decision here. I think he's still got it, and I think he's, again, you've got to show me you're elite to take him out. So let's see if Mario is going to be at that level, or let's see if Aldo has dropped off so much since the last one, which wasn't that long ago. So interesting one to see. I'm going to go with Aldo. Pennington and Pena. Guessing Pena's favourite? No. So Pena is the underdog here. All right, am I missing something? I know did they fight in Ultimate Fighter? I know they were both in the Ultimate Fighter. Did they fight each other? Did Pennington beat her? Maybe that's why. Maybe I should have looked into that. But I don't even care if that's the case. I'm still picking Pena. I'm going Pena. So I've got another underdog here, and another underdog I'm quite confident in. I'm actually quite confident in this. I think your safest bet would be Pena. It is a title fight, 5 rounds. Pena works hard. She's going to be, she's going to be going for it. Man, I think she's going to be able to control Pennington. Yeah, I think this is a hard fight for Pennington. Let me know what you think. Am I missing something here? There may be. I thought this was going to be a pretty easy favourite pick. Like I thought it was going to be a favourite for Pena. I thought it was going to be an obvious favourite. I'm wrong. For some reason, I must be missing something. But as I said, I don't care. Here's another underdog pick for you that I'm quite confident in. So this could be good for you. This is 3 underdog picks. Decision or submission. Can she get a submission? She could definitely get a submission. Pennington's tough. She's pretty well-rounded. She's tough. She's going to be there. She's happy to be in a firefight. She will press. I think Pena is going to be stronger on the cage. We've seen in Pennington's last one, even when we didn't, she didn't want to be on the cage and hold, but it was just sort of instinct for her to do that. That's going to be a bad idea with Pena. I think Pena is going to be able to control her. She loves her wall work. I know they do a lot of that type of training. Pretty good with their wall work, pretty good with the submissions. And, let's remember, she took out Amanda Nunes. Obviously, Amanda Nunes went and did what she did on the last time they met, but that is not an easy task. You've got to have some solid jiu-jitsu to capitalize on someone that, even if you say she didn't turn up, you've got to be solid to still pull that off. So I think Pena is going to be too much for Pennington. Again, got nothing against all of them. I think they're all cool, but Pena, man, decision. She could get the submission. I can see the submission as well, but I'm going to go decision. Let's just say win. I'm going to go the win, but what do I think? More decision, maybe submission. But there's another underdog pick. Now, the main event, Pereira and Rountree. How much of a favourite is Pereira? That's just going to be a no-brainer. He's going to be favourite. What is he paying? $1.19, $4.70 for Rountree, which is, is fair. Fair as in Pereira. That's his world, right? Striking. But this is MMA, man. Rountree has got some heavy hands. He's powerful. He's going to want to trade. At least he knows he doesn't really have to worry about Pereira trying to take him down. Is Rountree going to try and take Pereira down? No, I don't think so. And I don't think that's a good idea for him. I think he's better off trying to, get that knockout. Obviously, Pereira's the man on the feet as well. It's like you don't want to stand there with him, but you may as well try and take your chance of someone like Pereira. Pereira is, as we've talked about, he's happy to put himself in danger to, force you to fight so he can counter you. He fights dangerously. He's very good at it, but obviously there's opportunities there. So that's why, for someone like Khalil Rountree, even though he's a massive underdog, he could pull it off. He's powerful enough. If he just decides to just go for it, yeah, he can get caught, obviously, but he could definitely catch Pereira, because Pereira, again, is happy to fight right in there. His hips, his head, he's right in range. He loves to be right in the range, and he just forces you to fire. Is Rountree ready for that, knowing that, if he's telling himself, I'm going to try and be patient and stay on the outside and all that, that's going to all go out the window when Pereira's actually in front of you. So you want to sort of know that going in. You have to sort of fight the fire. You're going to have to fire things, but maybe don't commit so much where the counters are going to be heavy. Maybe let him think you're committing, let him look for counters. Maybe they're not, then he's like, oh, maybe I won't pull the counter because he's not committing to the shots. You have to do something. You can't just run and expect to just fire, because he's going to put that pressure on. He's going to make you panic punch and make you pay. Don't panic punch. Be ready for it. Be more selective. Be more calculated in your offense when it comes. Can he do that? We'll see. I'm not going to bet against Pereira. I think Pereira's too good on his feet. I think he's got a great chin anyway. So even if Rountree lands big on him, I still think Pereira can take it. I think he's got a great chin. It's light heavyweight. He doesn't cut as much as he does at middleweight. You know what I mean? So I still feel like he's going to be fine there. It's going to be hard to bet against Pereira here. But I'm just saying, let's get back to the whole altitude thing as well. As I said with Pereira, is he used to altitude? I don't know. Does he train over there? Maybe. But even if he didn't, he's a very composed fighter. He's not flustered by anything. As I said with Kevin Hollan, that's going to be the same case here. So even when he's tired, he's so dangerous. He might be that little bit slower, but he's not panicking. He's not, oh no, I need to, he's still looking for the finish. He doesn't, and then when you fight like that, you don't waste as much energy. Even though he's in front of you, he puts the pressure on, but he does it effortlessly. He'll be in your face, wait for you to make the mistake and then counter. So you're always in the firefight. That's why all these other people that are fighting him, the stress levels, they're stressing. They start getting fatigued really easy because this guy's right in front of me, forcing me to fight a fight I don't really want to fight. Where Pereira, that's his world. He's calm, he's composed. He's just waiting for the opportunities to look for the counter. So I don't see the altitude rattling Pereira. Even though it's 5 rounds, I don't feel like it rattles him too much. Unless a lot of grappling's involved, I just don't think Rountree that's his world to be able to do that. I think even Pereira's takedown defense, and that's getting much better as well. So I think Rountree is going to have a hard time trying to take him down. So I think his best bet is to try and capitalize on the fact that Pereira is going to be in your face, hoping to counter you. Maybe you get him first. You know, that's sort of the best way to do it, I think, for Rountree. Just again, stylistically, this probably is a tough matchup for him. But I am going to go with Pereira.
Shama.
I think it can definitely be a KO. It can be a KO each way. You're probably better off with the fact that he's a massive favourite. You're probably better off going for the KO. Don't know how much more that's paying anyway. But yeah, I'm going to go with KO for Alex Pereira. Rountree can definitely pull it off. We've seen that with very, very high level. Wait, did he fight? Wait a second. Someone remind me, because I know there was, who was it? I forget who it was. Another very, very high level kickboxer was a while ago. Come in, and I think it was Rountree flatlined him. So he was a massive underdog because he was like more of a striker, but this guy was, I think it was Rountree. I think Rountree, I mean, who is that fighter I'm talking about? K1 fighter, he was here, he was maybe 6-7 years ago. Massive underdog. He went in there to fight like one of the best kickboxers there was, that transitioned to MMA, and then Khalil Rountree ended up knocking him flat.
And that's the problem when you do straight stand up. Oh, he's got him! Big left hand! And that's it. He looks hurt, guys. That's it. As we were saying, Joey, that's great.
And I think it was Rountree. So, but that can happen, right? You've got these MMA fighters that somehow still knock out some of the best kickboxers in the world because there's so many more things that come into play in MMA. But with Pereira, he understands the game now. He is a really, really high-level kickboxer who understands MMA now. And you're seeing him getting better and better with the striking in MMA and more comfortable with guys in front of him, whether they're going to wrestle or whatever it is. He's comfortable with it all now. So we're forced to be reckoned with Pereira, hard to bet against. So again, I'm a big fan of Rountree. Met him a couple of times, solid dude, but it's just hard to bet against Pereira. So there you go. I've got a few underdogs there, a couple of favourites, a couple of big favourites there, and the rest are underdogs. So good luck with it all. Remember, gamble responsibly. Let me know in the comments what you think. Appreciate you all. Till next time. Mwah.